30 minutes of power.
Welcome to Top 30 Minutes of Power, a podcast dedicated to encourage, educate, and inspire godly women to pursue their passions, with hosts Jory O'Neill and Nicole Salter. Thanks for coming. Let's get ready to power up. Welcome to 30 Minutes of Power, your one-stop shop for all things empowering. This evening, we have with us our speaker, incredibly sensational host of the podcast, 30 Minutes of Power, Nicole Salter. And I'm your moderator for this evening, Jory O'Neill. Before we start, let's clean house. In order for you to get the most out of this session, there are 3 things we must agree to. 1, Jesus is Lord. 2, he died for our sins. And 3, we can do all things through him. Now, without further ado, I bring to you the amazing Nicole Salter. Nicole, how are you?
Hi. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I am truly excited to be here. This message today is about habits. And just to let you know, my disclaimer here, I am speaking to myself just as much as I am speaking to everyone else, because habits are something that we are always trying to get better at. And habits are something that we are always changing, right? Our lives change from year to year. And so from year to year, with every circumstance, a lot of times we need new habits. And so I want to start out today by asking, what is a habit? Not necessarily asking, but for you guys to think about, what is a habit? What kind of habits do you have in your lives? Okay. So the dictionary version of what a habit is: a settled tendency or usual manner of behavior. So pretty much habits are things that we do on a regular basis. Sometimes it's knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. Some normal habits that we have are waking up in the morning, taking a shower, brushing our teeth, getting dressed and ready to start the day, right? Some of us, we have to take a shower in the morning so that we can wake up. Some families, because they have to wake up so early in the morning, they might take a shower at nighttime. And so at nighttime, before they go to bed, they take a shower, they put on pajamas, they brush their teeth. And in the morning, when they get up, they can just get dressed and run out the door. Some families have breakfast before they leave to go to work or school in the morning. During school year, my children, they've developed some habits where when they get home from school, they have a 30-minute break where they can either watch TV, they can play outside, they can have a snack. But once that 30 minutes is up, they know that it's time to do their homework. So habits are things that we do. Sometimes we think about it. Sometimes we don't think about it. How many of us think about brushing our teeth in the morning? We kind of just get up, take a shower, and brush our teeth, right? When you go in the shower, you automatically know that the soap is there. You don't think, oh, I might need to take the soap in the shower with me. It's already there. And so when you get in the shower, you automatically soap up, right? And it's a behavior that is learned and sometimes becomes reflective over time. Sometimes this behavior is triggered by certain context. While we're driving, we should have developed the habit of looking around before we move our vehicles, right? Or when we cross the street, what is the habit that we've developed? We look both ways, right? You should never cross the street without looking both ways to make sure that there's no traffic coming. And so in doing some research, I've learned that people fall into one of 4 categories when it comes to personality habit forming. And those 4 categories are upholders, questionnaires, obligators, and rebels. So there's a lady by the name of Gretchen Rubin. She's an author of a book called The Four Tendencies, and she breaks down these categories. I'm just going to touch them today. I'm not going to go deep into them, but I want you to listen to what each of these categories are and try and kind of figure out where you are in this habit forming world, okay? So the first one is the upholder. The upholder usually meets inner and outer expectations. They don't want to let others down, and they don't want to let themselves down when completing a task. They can generally form habits a lot easier than most. Number 2 is questionnaires. They generally meet only inner expectations. They push back any questions that others may have for them, and they only do things that make sense to them. So, for example, a questionnaire may say something like, I can keep a New Year's resolution, but I'm not going to wait, or I'm not going to make it on January 1st because January 1st is just a regular day. So if I feel like this resolution that I want to keep up is good for my life now, I'm going to make it now. I'm not going to wait. Okay? Obligators. Obligators usually meet outer expectations, not inner. They normally need some sort of accountability. And an accountability partner is important because they check up on you to make sure that you're staying on task. Someone that is an obligator, they feel obligated to make sure they are pleasing their accountability partner. And they do that by doing things that their partner is holding them accountable for. I know I used accountable way too much in that definition. I really hope you guys understood that. But an obligator is someone that essentially wants to please their partner. They want to please the person that they're working with. And lastly is a rebel. Who doesn't love a rebel, right? A rebel, they don't meet inner or outer expectations. They do what they want, when they want, regardless of rules and regulations. I hope nobody listening to this is a rebel because we all want to make sure we're following rules and regulations. But these are the four categories when we speak about habit forming. Right? And so think about these definitions. Which one are you? You'll need to know which one you are because next we're going to talk about how we build habits, right? And you need to know if you are a person that is going to have it easy when it comes to building a habit, or if you're a rebel and you're never going to build a habit. You need to know where you are, right? And so the first thing we're going to talk about is how do we build habits? So now remember, I had mentioned that a habit is something that we probably do without thinking. So when you're trying to create a new habit, you want to start slowly. Set up realistic expectations. Leave room for grace. Set yourself up to succeed. So how do we build habits? Remember that a habit is something that we do without thinking. So if you're trying to create a new habit, you need to start slowly. Set yourself up with realistic expectations, leave room for grace, and set yourself up to succeed. So for me, for example, if I want to start a new workout regimen, and if I want to build a habit working out every morning at 5 a.m., I need to first set myself up for success. And the way I would do that is I would set about 3 alarms for myself because the alarm clock is not my friend. And I am notorious for pressing snooze or telling Alexa to shut up. And so I have to make sure that I have enough alarm clocks on so that by the time I hear that 3rd alarm, I realize, I might need to get up so that I can go and work out, right? Set yourself up for success. Now, there are going to be days when you're forming a new habit, there's going to be a day where you just do not feel like doing it. If you can overcome it, great. However, if you do not overcome it, do not let it stop you from continuing to keep pushing forward. Get up, dust yourself off, realize you messed up, and start over. Keep going, okay? Keep going. So to start with that, we want to make sure that when we're building new habits, we start small. Maybe you're only going to exercise for 10 minutes a day. Maybe you're only going to exercise for 30 minutes a day. You're not going to exercise for 3 hours a day if you've never exercised in your life. Start small. Number 2, pick a trigger or an anchor for your new practice. Figure out where your habit can fit into your existing routine and attach it to something that you already do. So, for example, brushing your teeth, right? Again, set yourself up for success. You know, after you get out the shower, which is in the bathroom, you're going to brush your teeth, which is in the bathroom. Everything that you need to do in the bathroom should be set up so that you are successful at everything, okay? After you take your shower, you brush your teeth. After you brush your teeth, you start flossing 1 tooth at a time. Make sure that when you are creating a new routine, you fit it into somewhere in your life where you have a 99 to 100% success rate and you are able to keep it going. You want it to fit into your existing habits. So that way, your existing good habits, mind you. So that way, when you are doing it, you are succeeding, okay? Find pleasure in it. If you are creating a new habit, it has to be something that you enjoy. If you don't like exercising, you might like dancing. You might want to try Zumba. Find some sort of pleasure in whatever exercise you are trying to do or whatever habit you are trying to form. If you are a person that doesn't like reading, find something that interests you. Maybe you don't like reading novels. Maybe you like reading magazines. Maybe you like reading about people. Maybe you like learning about animals. Find something that you are interested in so that you can build that habit of reading 1 book a month or reading 10 pages every day. It has to be something that you enjoy. If it is not something that you enjoy, most likely you are not going to keep it up, okay? Redesign your environment is number 4. Redesign your environment. Again, set yourself up so that you can succeed. If the soap is not in the shower, you are not going to remember to soap yourself when you're in the shower, right? Redesign your environment so that you can be successful at what you are doing. And so if it's something where you're reading, you might want to have your book or your magazine or your tablet, whatever it is you're reading from, have it next to your coffee cup. So while you're drinking your coffee in the morning, you'll know that it's reading time. Or have it next to your bed on your night table. So that way you know when I lay down, or not lay down, when I sit in my bed, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend 5 minutes reading. Have it in the bathroom. Get that. Well, I don't get 5 minutes in the bathroom by myself. My children always bust in there. However, if you are one of those moms that have trained your children exceptionally well and they know not to mess with you in the bathroom, take that 5 minutes in the bathroom. Read your story, read your magazine, read your 5 pages for the day. But set yourself up so that when you do it, you are successful. Redesign your environment around that habit. Number 5, slide a good habit into a space that occupied a bad one. And so for this, the only thing I could think about when I was planning out this lesson here is when my dad had stopped smoking. Now, he stopped smoking, which was great, right? But then he became a muncher. And so while it was great that he stopped smoking, his munching habits was a great substitute for it, right? But of course, it depends on what you're munching on. You don't want to be munching on hamburgers and hot dogs all day. You'd like to make sure that you're making those good choices, right? And so when you are recreating habits, when you are building good habits, you want to make sure that you're trying to take out the bad ones and replace them with a good one. I see a hand raised. Jory, what would you like to say?
Well, an example of changing out a bad habit for a good one. So what I used to do when I would go into the restroom, my kids are trained to bust in the room, but that's why we made locks on the doors. So I just lock them out. It works. So far, so good. But I used to go and play Candy Crush, and I would be there so long that like my leg would fall asleep.
Oh
Um,
my God.
and so I switched out that habit, and now I listen to like audiobooks or podcasts or something inspirational,
That is
motivational,
great.
instead of playing the Candy Crush. I haven't played. I've been Candy Crush free for a year. Praise Jesus. Um, yes. So I hope that might be a better example than the munching, because the munching is not helpful when you're not doing the smoking. There's a third option somewhere in the universe, I think.
Well, the good thing about my dad is he was health conscious. So when he did stop smoking, like we had to make sure that we had fruits and vegetables at his fingertips so that he can have something to put in his mouth that was on the healthier side. But I'm not going to say that he always chose them. There were times where he was like, I don't want that. Give me them Lays or give me them crackers or, however, it wasn't smoking, right? So he did change the habit for the better, which was great for him. So number 6, we have celebrate your wins. Whichever win you want to celebrate it. Don't exaggerate, but celebrate it. If you have been eating healthy foods for a whole week, don't have a cheat day, have a cheat meal. Don't go crazy with your celebrations now. We want to make sure that we stay on track with the new habits that we are forming. But you also want to make sure that you're patting yourself on your back and you're letting yourself know that you are able to do this. You can do this, right? And number 7, don't let the past keep you from moving forward. If you just so happen to mess up today, don't let it stop you from succeeding tomorrow. Don't focus on the negative. Focus on the positive things that are happening in your life, okay? My mom, she is going through some dental procedures and she is super frustrated because it is taking a lot longer than she wanted it to, than she wants, I should say, because she's doing it right now. It's taking a lot longer than she wants it to. And I had to explain to her, listen, this could be something that can't be fixed. This could be something that would have affected you for the rest of your life. The dentist is just asking you to be patient so that he can make sure everything is healing and it's healing properly. He doesn't want to continue and leave you with a messed up mouth. He wants to make sure that everything is going to work properly, And so we want to make sure that when we are building habits, that we are celebrating what we've done so far and we don't let slip-ups keep us from moving forward. Okay. And so I also want to mention how long it takes to build a habit. So we just spoke about what is a habit. We spoke about the 4 different personality traits for forming a habit. We spoke about how to build habits, right? And now I want to talk about how long it takes to build a habit. So with the research that I have done, it takes between 18 to 254 days to form a habit. 18 to 254 days to form a habit. That is a huge range. What is going to make you form a habit is the people in your corner, as we have spoke about last week, and your willingness to make this habit happen. So what is it going to take for you to make new habits happen? And when I'm talking about new habits, I'm talking about habits that are going to make your life better, right? And so some habits that may make your life better are maybe reading more. The more you read, the more you know. The more you know, the more you grow, right? Setting up schedules. Write things down. When you set up your schedule should create a flow. And so I had a conversation with my husband about setting up a schedule and creating a flow. And he thought that it was the same thing. And I had to let him know it's not. You can set up a schedule and you can have your day set where at 9 a.m. you're going to wake up, at 10 a.m. you're taking the kids to school, at 11 a.m. you are going to meetings, but it has to have a flow, right? You have a whole hour that you have blocked this time out for. And if you don't have a flow in that hour, it can be blocks of time where you're wasting time and you're not being as productive as you can. And so in that hour block that you have to take a shower, everything that happens in the bathroom should fall into that flow. You take a shower, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you comb your hair, you get dressed, you put on your makeup. Everything should flow into each other. When you are creating a habit, you are creating a flow, right? And so I quickly want to also go over, how do we break bad habits? So the way we break bad habits is, one, to realize that you have this horrible habit. Oh my goodness, I'm a smoker. It's not good it's not good for me to smoke. It's not good for my health. And so you need to realize you have this bad habit. Whatever habit it is for you, I'm not picking on smokers. I apologize if you're a smoker and you feel like this is bad for me picking on you. I am not picking on you. I apologize if you think I am. However, smoking is just something that came to me since I was talking about my dad earlier. But you want to realize that you have this habit. Next, you want to eliminate the triggers, right? And so I can remember my dad one day, he sat my mom down and he said, I need to talk to you about something. Today, when you went to the bank, you saw Suzanne outside and you guys were talking for a long time and I was getting anxious. You want me to stop smoking? I cannot be anxious. I cannot be, he was pretty much trying to let my mom know that in that situation, he was very impatient and he was very nervous. And that is what makes him want to smoke. And he had to let her know that we have to try and eliminate these scenarios if I am not going to smoke anymore. Okay. So 1, realize that you have this horrible habit. 2, eliminate the triggers. Number 3, ask for help. Ask for help. There is no I in team, which Jory is going to teach us about in her next message. There is no I in team. None of us live on an island by ourselves. Do not be ashamed to ask for help if you have a bad habit that needs to be broken. Listen to other people's stories. Listen to how they have overcome whatever that habit is. If there is a habit that you have, 9 times out of 10, you are not the only one that has had that habit. Read stories, read testimonials on how other people have overcome these things, okay? If you do not want to come outright and ask someone for help, the other thing you can do is look at videos and look at testimonials. I'm sure YouTube has somebody that went through your issue and they will tell you how they overcame it. Okay. Replace a bad habit with a good. Again, when you are redesigning your environment and you are building new habits, try and pinpoint the ones that are bad, right? I mean, in my honest opinion, because I might be guilty of it also, playing Candy Crush is not a bad habit, right? It might be a stress reliever for you. However, that could be time that is used in a more productive way. And so, although this is a stress reliever for you, I'm pretty sure you can find something else to do with your toilet time that is more productive for your life, right? And it can still be stress relieving. Okay. Number 5 is reward yourself. Don't be so strict on yourself where you eventually fall back into bad habits because you were so strict and you really didn't want to do it and they made you do it. Don't put yourself in that position. Reward yourself. Constantly congratulate yourself on how well you're doing, how well you've done. Make sure that there are other people in your corner that are congratulating you also. Okay? Please remember, there is no I in team. We are all here to work together. We are all here to back each other up. Find that person in your corner that has your best interests at heart. Find that person in your corner that is going to be there when you're on the verge of falling to pick you up or to hold you up. Found that accountability person that is going to be there to help you through the things you are going through. Find that person that is going to want to build habits with you. Okay? And so that is all that I have to say for today. I thank you guys for listening. I hope that you were able to figure out which personality habit forming person you are, whether it's an upholder, a questionnaire, an obligator, or a rebel. I hope it's not a rebel. Me personally, I think I'm an obligator. I feel like when people give me something to do, I'm obligated to do it, not for me, but because I want them to be happy with what I've done. And so I feel like I'm definitely in that obligation sector. And I'm so glad that I have an accountability partner who is there to say, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you get this? Did you get that? Okay, sounds good. Let's move on. So I hope that you were able to figure out which one you are so that you can move forward in building healthy habits for yourself and habits that will build you up successfully in the future. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.
Thank you for listening. We pray you have been empowered by the message. If you'd like to be a part of the conversation, join our free Facebook group, AZ Iron Sharpens Iron. Every Monday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, meet us back here for another session of empowerment. Share this episode with another woman who needs to be empowered. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, be an empowered woman using your power to empower others.
20 minutes of power.